Alright, it's time for the big fantasy buys video for round 8. I'm in my party shirt, ready for our last night here in Portugal. About to head home. You'll probably get one more video out of me. We'll see how we're feeling after dinner. But Greg Marzhew, we're going to kick it off with all the Knights players. There's about 6 of them or something like that. So we're going to go through all the Knights first, and then we're going to go hooker all the way down to wing fullback. So if you want to skip through the video to find a section that you want to go through, by all means go for it. But we're going to kick it off with the all-important Knights, who have really struggled for a bunch of weeks, and that's where you see a few of these guys did struggle themselves, fantasy-wise, and Greg Marzhew came back with a bang. An incredible run as well, big run meters, massive tackle break numbers as well, the offload, the try assist, all in one hit to go along with that try earlier on in the game to get him to that 88, which was absolutely incredible. The 3 weeks before is the worry, 24, 38, and 35, but we've also seen him have a 70 without a try as well, without a line break, without a try assist in that game. So we know he has the upside. The average is 51.2. He's priced at 44. If you do need a wing fullback, we look at the run that's coming up. The Warriors will at least be a close contest, you'd imagine. It is over there. It is in Christchurch. I had a look at the weather. Look at me go, because I'm potentially looking at some Knights players. And seems like it's going to be a sunny afternoon into the eve. So a clear one. Hopefully that's good for Greggy if you are looking to buy him. His errors have been astronomical the last bunch of weeks. 2-4, 2-4 into the 1 last week, which was much better. And that was actually him trying to offload as well. So Greg, the big thing with him this year is the offloads, right? He's had 3 offloads as his minimum per game, which is absolutely crazy. Last year, we had a bit of a tough one. 2023, you see some of the scores here were incredible in its own right. 53 was the average that year. And if you think that he could get somewhere to 53, he's priced at 44. He really helps throughout, from here all the way through to round 18. And he has the Warriors into the Bunnies, into the Titans, into Para, into a decimated Penrith in round 12, followed by the Dragons in the next week. So I don't think there's one really difficult week at all in the next bunch, to be honest, all the way through until the round 18 one there. So I think he's a super fun pick. He can be exciting to watch. He can be scary to watch. And yeah, when you've got 2 scores 70 and above already in 6 games, his bad scores when he played really terrible was a 24, was a 38 and a 35. So generally, he's going to be in that mid-30s with offloads, with a few tackle breaks and good run meters. So you take the good with the bad, you take the excitement. If you're interested, this is the final week. I don't think you want to buy him over 600k, and he's very likely to be well into the 600s if he can have a decent game and a decent stretch of games over the next period of time. The good thing to know is he can score well against good teams as well with Sharks, but he also loves teams like the Tigers and the Dolphins who struggled, and we should see some, not terribly amazing teams following this Warriors one, which I think should be a solid fantasy scoring game especially when it's not in the wet. Greg Marzhew, a fun pick. Fletcher Sharpe, 669k, priced at the 50 mark now, averaging 55. So you get those couple of lower weeks, just allows him to be a little bit cheaper for you, which is good. Same situation with the buy period. That's why I wanted to do all of this at the start. Fletcher has more consistency. He doesn't have quite the ceiling that Greg does, but you can play him in 2 positions. You're going to get lots of tackles out of him. You've seen 20 plus ever since round 1, and good tackle break numbers. He's running the footy incredibly well. We saw it more this week than we did the last 3, but they were getting absolutely smashed. And still in one of those, he had an 84-metre game for 63 points. So he can do it in multiple ways. He's scored 3 tries so far, 1 try assist, 4 line breaks across that 6 games for him, showing that he can do it in multiple ways, which is great for a guy that is new to the position at 6 in first grade and has dual position, a bit more expensive, but I think you can trust Fletcher across this next couple of months. Dylan Lucas, the scary thing with him is the injury that he's coming back off. It's one of those ones where you can easily hurt yourself again. So the re-injury rate is fairly high. We've seen him have some hamstring tightness and all this type of stuff over his career so far. 57 and 66 across the first two. He's priced at 52. I think you can wait the week. The break even's not crazy low, and yes, you can lock that center in very easily at a 697k. A guy that can be a 50 plus scorer easily. But Thomas Kent is on the bench as well. If Lucas feels a bit off, he might only play 60 odd minutes, or Thomas could just play through the center. We don't exactly know, but I think you can wait the week with Lucas pretty easily. Will be a good purchase, just doesn't have to be this week. If you do want a center who's a little bit cheaper than someone like Herbie Farnworth, who we'll speak about a bit later, then Bradman Best could be your guy. Priced at 48, average of 50 there. He has a couple of low scores of 37, but that's the difference with him this year, is that his low scores aren't that bad at all. He's got a 36 in there and two 37s, but then he loves the 6s and 7s apparently. 77, 67, 47 to go along with two 37s. So there you go. 7 tackle breaks, 6 tackle breaks is kind of his norm. Tackle numbers are all over the shop. Run meters are all over the shop. If the Knights can have a good run of footy, we know that Bradman can be one of the best players, the best centers, especially in our game. So he's a really fun pick as well if you're looking for someone around that price point in the center position rather than wing fullback, then Bradman can be your guy. Leo Thompson, people have been asking about as well. He's priced at 46, averaging 50. With him there, you picked up 48 on the weekend there. 55 twice, a 56 and a 35 when he had that bit of an injury. So when he's been on the park, he's playing big minutes, which is just allowing him to have a solid PPM at 0.85 or so and score pretty well. The question's going to be with a few guys out, Thomas Kent does go back to the bench now. Does he play some middle? Does he take away a few minutes? Do we see the 72 and the 65 minutes going forward? I'm not sure. I think he probably sits somewhere in that mid-50s to high 50s. Last year he was a 40s and 50s guy, so I find it hard to see his minutes staying that high. If they do, he'll be a great pick, but I can't recommend him personally. I just think that at best he's a 50 scorer, and you probably want to wait and get someone else like an Adam Fennell Blake or whatever for 100k more expensive, and you could wait a few weeks because we've got so many gun mids right now. Pearce-Paul, 651k, priced at 48, averaging 56. So you've got, even if he sticks with that right now, he's got a really good setup of scores to come. The only game he hasn't gone 50 was when he had a sin bin, and played 10 less minutes as well. He's a very easy guy to look at right now because he's offloading the footy. He's at like 2.3 a game, whereas in last year he's at like 0.6, 0.7. He's tackling 40 plus in 3 of the 4 games, which is great, and the odd offload, he's still missing tackles, but when you're running for 100 plus meters and making 40 tackles with the odd try assist that we're seeing from him and a few offloads, then you're going to get 50 plus scores pretty regularly. So if you do want an edge, if you want to play 100k less than like Preston or something like that, then Pearce-Paul can be a guy. If you do want to wait for someone like Fifita, that yes, doesn't play round 12, but potentially could score better, then that's fine as well. Now let's move to the hookers. Wade Egan, 683k, priced at 51, averaging 56. He played less minutes on the weekend, which may be a slight concern, but he also hasn't had a rest all season, apart from their bye. So you're seeing in there 50s pretty regularly for him. Do you want to buy someone that has a history of issues with concussion and all the rest? He's running the footy less than he did in round 2 and 3, which was something that was a big benefit to his game. Did you want that now? Do you want to just wait? You could buy him in round 12, probably priced similarly, and you can see how it plays out. If you want to fix that hooker position, then I personally probably recommend that, but I think he's a very solid purchase this week as well, if you want to go that way, because he's playing good minutes, he's doing good work, and yeah, I think you won't be dissatisfied unless he has an injury, but that's majority of players, right? Erin Clark at 577, priced at 43 now. That's probably the only worry I see with Clark. He had good minutes last week, and we could see that going forward, but they also had Capewell in the centres. They had Tamate Martin on the bench, so they didn't have an extra forward, which is why Egan played the 80 as well, and probably why you think it could be safe that he does that again. So if Egan's playing 80, there's 4 forwards on the bench. Potentially that means that Clark goes back to that mid to high 40s minutes, which is fine, but it also means he has to have a 1 ppm to do really well. And again, is it a case where you could just wait closer to round 12, make your decision on a hooker in that week? If you go now, I think he'll do a decent job for you. If you buy next week, it's probably a bit annoying near 600k. So Erin Clark at this price point, a pretty good situation for you to jump in at. But it's not I don't think it's going to make or break your week, definitely. So Clark, a really fun one. Over the last 3 weeks, he's gone 50, 62, and 53 in 2 games in under 50 minutes, which is great. Running the footy plenty, which means offloads. It's going to mean tackle breaks. Hasn't had any assists or tries or anything like that yet. So if he gets one of them, even better. And the run looks really, really nice for games there. He's not going to get demolished for sure up against certain sides. You imagine potentially some missed tackles here against a really good team a tackle breaking team in the Knights individually. So yeah, he's a fun pick otherwise. Ryley Smith, I did have to mention. Could you buy this week? Maybe. Do you just look at him next week? Potentially as well. He did have a lot of missed tackles, but it was against a team that was trying to come back and win, and had a lot of guys that were running diagonally through the center, and it caused some issues with him. But if he's going to be playing close to 80 minutes, mid-30 scores are going to be coming. So I think that he's an easy purchase in the next few weeks. Whether you get him now on the buy, if you don't have many Eels, that's fine as well. But I do expect him to play good minutes going forward, and hopefully you can see him back into the 3 to 4 missed tackle range, and maybe he can get those tackle numbers up. We haven't seen him at 40 plus yet, so maybe he's just not that guy, but he definitely could work into it over the next few weeks. And I think this week off will be good for him as well. Let's move into the mids. Toby Couchman, he has to be mentioned because he is absolutely crushing right now. The one worry I'll say is that Emre Gula does return to the side, but with Couchman, the offloads have increased, and I don't think there's any reason why you should put that away from here on in. It's working well. They're getting wins on the board. He is performing really, really well. PPM's incredible. No reason why you shouldn't buy him. At worst, he goes from the 69s and the 81, and he goes back to what he's priced at 56. If that's the worst case scenario for a dual position guy that you can hold for a long time here, plays the second major buy and the third major buy, then by all means. But if it continues in the 60s, and he's averaging 64 right now, then you will be kicking yourself. Can you leave him out? Yes. Do you want to? Probably not. Max King is almost the same price, but he just doesn't have generally that performance over the years that we've seen from what Couchman's doing right now. We usually know what King is. He's a 49 in 51 minutes in 2024, and he's currently priced at 54. In 2023, he's a 46 in 52.3 minutes. In 2022, he was a 46 in 47 minutes. So he's generally near a 1 ppm guy. In 2025, though, he's gone to 59 in 52 minutes. Is that something that can be sustained? It could be, but there's definitely a worry around it because that PPM we haven't seen from him over the last 4 years. His team's really good now. He's getting plenty of footy. They're holding on to the footy, so there's a lot more ball in play in his games, which is great. And I think he'll serve a really good purpose across this next, there could be the rest of the season. But you are buying him at 730k. That's the worry. It could pay off and he averages this going forward, or he beats it and continues what he's doing at 59. But it could also just be okay. Tapine. Would you buy him instead of Max King? Look, probably. We know that Tapine has a history of having stretches of seasons where he's a 60-plus guy. So he could definitely do that again. And I personally would recommend Tapine before I would recommend King, just at that little bit more expensive at $41,000 extra. He plays round 12 just like King does. He misses 15, but he plays all the minor buys, apart from the last one, and he plays that third major buy. You know he's not going to be in Origin. You know he can have really, really good games. He's had 2 games now under 50 minutes, but you know Max King's going to have games of 50 minutes as well when he might not score as well. King's had all ceiling games. Tapine's had a couple of ceiling games with a few low ones as well. Interesting little situation there. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Barnett, given the situation that he finds himself in with Fish out. He's played 3 games 60 minutes or above, and it's a 41, a 50, and a 49. He's priced at 47, averaging 45.7. So is it enough this week to have a look, or can you still just wait and watch? I think both are fine, but if you do like Barnett, we know he has scored well in the past. Just isn't getting the tackle breaks and the offloads that we've seen from him. So when that starts to happen, he'll score really well, but is it going to happen is the question. Now Preston, as much as I love him, 764k price at 57 is very, very rich. He's scoring great, 77, 57, 69 the last 3, 59 before that. That's all great. He has had a couple of games, no misses. He's getting over 100 meters a game now. Tackle numbers have increased the last few, so all that's looking great. He looks awesome through the bye period. I don't think he plays Origin, but can you spend 764 on him now rather than going for someone a bit cheaper? That question, should be up to you. I think it's fine. It's also expensive, and we know, what can happen when you do pay exactly what someone's worth or potentially overs. I think he's a high 50s guy, so it's about where he's going to be, I think, for the season. But a really fun guy to own. Fifita, people are looking at still buying him this week. Hamstrings are a bit of a worry, like we spoke about with Lucas. Off the bench, can you buy him? I don't think so. If he does move to the starting side, can you buy him? Sure, but it definitely comes with risk. So if you want to be a part of that, sweet. If you don't, also sweet. Beau Fermor, 609k. You could easily select him this week. You could easily wait a little bit, though, with a 64 break even. Coming off a 20 or 30. He did score a try last week for a 49. No line break, obviously, but he had 3 really good games to start. We know he can get up into the, he got to 718k. Can he do it again? Yes. Can you wait another week? Sure. I think you'll get lots of tackles against guys like Bulldogs. You could also wait until round 13 for Beau Fermor as well. Hudson Young, had to mention him because he's absolutely crushing it, but he's priced at 61. We've never seen him go this high. He's also had 3 games in a row with doubles, which is just wild. So it has to slow down eventually. Probably makes Origin. I think you can't pick him up, but if you own, absolutely loving it. You're flying, and yeah, how good. Now, Briton Nikora, it's getting closer to Briton season. Hopefully, when it's Briton season, it's Nicho Hynes season, because I do own Nicho at the moment. But he's had a 57. He's also had 5 tries throughout the year. The base stats, especially the running side, are very, very low. So we need him to get to this mid-period last year, where he really stepped up the running side, the tackle numbers into the high 30s, the 40s. We've just seen him hit 40 tackles once, and he actually got 34 points that week. So I think it's a big risk to buy him at the moment with the what he's dishing out. The missed tackle numbers aren't too bad, to be fair, but it's the rest of the stats that just aren't there at the moment. Offloads not really happening, which happened in the back end of last year. He was getting tries, he was getting assists, all the good stuff was there. Just not happening at the moment. I think you wait a little bit longer, but I, again, had to mention him. Moving to half. Hugo Savala, down to a very, very low break even this week. So this is the week to jump on. He looks like he'll get a bit of a run. You'd imagine pretty close to at least that bye, and then maybe Sammy Walker comes back for the Newcastle game in round 15. And in that case, Savala's probably a sell by round 14 anyway. So if you can get him for this run, he misses round 10, yes. Selling like Sione Smith to him is a pretty easy one. But yeah, him at 230k just allows you to make other moves, and it's very, very simple. 24 tackles for 3 misses both games, over 470 kick meters in both. Not running the footy much. No tackle breaks, no offloads. No try assists yet. Could easily be a 40 plus game for him this week. I think now's the time to buy if you do need a downgrade. Jamal Fogarty, just consistency every week. Have to mention him because he's crushing it. 54.4 is the average. Price at 53. It's just every week's a pretty easy week to get him. Against Melbourne and Canterbury, you'll probably get good base stats. The Dolphins this week will be a fun clash at home. I think he just continues to score in the 50s and is a solid buy going forward. Nicho Hynes, I thought he improved on the weekend. The 7 tackles is wild because we didn't see that really at all apart from round 3 last year. He made 29 though to miss 6. We saw the odd game of 4 or 5, but that was when he's making 20 plus. Hopefully he gets back to that because the tackle numbers, maybe they're not running at him as much because he's showed that he's a pretty good defender last year. Hopefully the missed tackle numbers go, because if that's the case and he gets back to 21 for 1 or 2 misses and stuff like that, then I think the bigger scores will come over the next few weeks with Tigers and Para. Manly, Melbourne will be fun games. Roosters in round 12 will be a fun game as well. So for him, priced at 24, he's averaging that now. Hopefully there's some upside in him. If you don't want to jump on still, that's fine, but just wanted to mention him because I bought him last week and I think that there are some big games coming. He has only had 5 try assists and 1 try this year in the 7 games. It's not crazy at all. And if that can improve, the kick meters at 316 last week, hopefully that is a sign of things to come. He looked really free-flowing. There's a lot of good passes that didn't go in for tries. I think he'll be fun. Matt Burton is cheaper though at 641k and has a good score so far. 48, 23 and 27 minutes and a 54. Priced at 48, I think he's a 50 plus scorer pretty comfortably. We just need that goal kicking back, which I'm not sure if he'll get it this week or not. If he does, I'm personally looking at him the following week at near what could potentially be 630k or something like that. Against Titans, Canberra, Roosters. I don't think he makes Origin. Could he be 18th man? Yes. They usually are selecting someone at 18th man who has a bye, but we'll see how that one works out for him. They do play all 3 major buys, the doggies there, so a really good 18th man. And someone did ask, is Watson likely, what's the percentage chance of him being in Origin? I think it's about a 90, and Burton I think should miss out, but 18th man is a very good position for someone like Burton. Will they do it? Maybe. Isaiah Katoa, 675k. His lowest score is 48 in round 6. Got the 3 try assists on the weekend against the Storm for a 60, so that's really nice signs that he can do it against even some of the top teams. So with the stretch they've got going on, he's an awesome pick in half if you need someone or want someone around that price point. He's running the footy, he's doing plenty of kick meters, tackling well. Just has the 1 try himself where he got the 73, but try assists are coming for him. Not thick and fast. He's at 6 now in the 7 games and just doing great work. So a really, really fun guy that doesn't goal kick, but does everything else. Some offloads, some tackle breaks, good tackle numbers, running the footy, all the good stuff. So Isaiah Katoa, a fun one, averaging 54.6, priced at 50. Jahrome Hughes, have to keep him in the thoughts. Under 600k now, priced at 44. Average like 60 last year. So a 35 average to start. Again, I think with the high break even, you watch this week, potentially buy against Canberra or Tigers. Or you wait until round 13. They just do it. They miss round 12 and 15. So just keep him in your thoughts over the next few weeks, definitely. Reuben Garrick, a lower one for him at 32. Does come up against Penrith and then is the buy. So I think we just clearly watch this week. Have a look at either the Cronulla game or the Cows or Para in 11 or 12. I have him in my thoughts and I'll be deciding, I think, probably in that Cowboys week. Unless he goes bonkers this week, we may need to look at him for the Cronulla one. But a high break even, hopefully I can get him under 600k. That would be a goal. But I also want him to go well in Supercoach. So we'll see how it goes. But yes, we're in the centres now. Herbie Farnworth been absolutely crushing. 57 is the average. His lowest score is 50. He has 2 tries. He has 3 try assists. He's an absolute jet. Tackle breaks and offloads with run meters and tackles. Keep it up. I think he will. Big price. Very much will help you week to week. If you can get a 59 average in centre without worrying about it, a really good buy schedule. Just an awesome guy to have for sure. And I think I'll be looking at him in Supercoach. I don't know if I can get to him in fantasy this week. Kiraz, 644k. I know a lot of people interested in him. He's got a 44 and a 59 with 9 Offload so far, no tries. So a great score. I think you're buying him fairly close to what he's going to average. I think that 51.5 makes sense. So you're probably getting 3 to 5, 6 points of value with dual position. May make Origin. And if he does, he misses 12, 13. Not sure about 15 if he makes the second Origin. But you've got guys like To'o and Lomax who are the likely wingers. And I think Kiraz is next up. They could move Crichton to wing. They could play Turbo there, that kind of stuff. But Kiraz is awesome, and I think he deserves a spot in that Origin side. So that's the only real worry for Kiraz. Otherwise, he's a great purchase. Wing fullback time to finish it off. Thanks so much to everyone for jumping in here and checking out the Best Buys video. If you are interested in joining the private crew, it's been an incredible start to the season. Lots of guys doing really, really well. So all the info is in the description for that one. It's $30 for the rest of the year. Includes all the Supercoach, NBL, and also Big Bash at the end of the year. So get around it, and it's the best way to support me apart from watching these videos and hitting subscribe and also follow along on the podcast. You're all legends. Thanks so much. Latrell at 742, he's priced at the 55. Back to fullback now, and we know he can crush at fullback. We know he's going to kick in general play. He hasn't got any tries yet. The tackle break numbers and offloads, they come at fullback, that's for sure. So if you're an owner this week, it is against Melbourne, and that's the worry, but I think that he should score pretty well unless they get absolutely hammered. I think if it was against anyone but Melbourne this week, I think he's a buy. Melbourne puts him in like a 50-50 thing, so up to you, but if you own, should be very happy. This week, back to fullback. Mwangani Tawaze, 461k. I think he's a really, really fun purchase. This week, you do have to watch it. We've seen him at wing for one game. He did actually make 10 tackles there, but it was a 43 last year in round 27. This year, I think he's done really well in that left center spot, and I actually think I want him to stay there. We just don't know how it's going to look on the right. They've got less ball. Dom Young hasn't scored very well, but there's potentially a reason why he's been dropped. Toyo's only got the one try. Young's got a few, but I don't know if it's better on that left edge or not. So I can recommend him as a buy. If you don't have many Roosters, I think it's a good one to jump on with. Low break even at 14. Definitely could do a good job for you. So 461, dual position. I think he's great for the buy period in general. Just more the question of how many Roosters do you have, and is it a worry on that right edge? Potentially, but it could also just be completely fine. Selwyn Cobbo, hey, 433k. He's got 2 games of fullback in his career. He got like a 50-odd and an 8 or something against the Panthers. He also spent a bit of time there. I think like Walsh was out hanging on the wing at times last game, but Cobbo's coming off at 8, a really high break even. He just hasn't had a really good season. He scored 3 tries in that first game for 44 points on the wing. So yes, he could do well at fullback. I think it's a really big risk against the Dogs and Penrith the next few weeks. 433k, it's cheap, but it's not great. Tedesco is 665, coming off a low one. The 23 was pretty wild against the Panthers. We know that the Panthers can do that sometimes, but coming into the Dragons and the Dolphins, I think he can score really well. Is Edwards ahead of him in the race for Origin? Probably. Can you jump on Teddy this week? Yes. Can you hold off with the high break even? Yes. Again, another guy I'm probably now just going to wait and look at him potentially in this round 11 or the round 12 clash. Again, Canterbury Bulldogs into Sharks there is a bit of an interesting one, but that's where I'm going to wait to have a look there. Drinkwater, 630k for him. Actually, I did forget Jaxon Purdue. All right, we'll finish with Jackson and Drinky there. 630k for the man with 2 tries so far. Yes, he's kicking goals. He is, he has 4 tries so far. They had a really tough start to the year. Manly, Cronulla, Broncos, Canberra, Penrith into Rabbitohs being a slightly easier one. They did get 3 wins in a row. They come into Titans, Warriors, Penrith, Manly. It's not too bad. And then he misses round 12, which sucks, but he has a pretty solid run all the way through the end of the year, given he's had that tough start. We know that he can be a mid-50s guy with a team that's actually doing pretty well. He's averaging right on where he's priced at so far. It can be a tough watch at times because he relies on those big plays. He kicks a little bit in general play, probably less than he did last year with Clifford, being a very important player in this side now. And tackle breaks are pretty good. Missed tackles, bad in round 1, but much better since then. I think he's a solid purchase. Again, probably a better purchase in Supercoach there at the moment. But a fun one to look at over the next bunch of weeks. And Jaxon Purdue at 469k. He is an absolute crusher there. Just does great things. You expect him to continue to exceed expectations. I think from the start of the year, he's averaging really, really well. 50 plus in the last 4. Price of 35. I think he's a mid-40s guy. The way he's playing at the moment, the way he's showing his stuff defensively, running the footy, getting attacking stats. He's a very important cog on this left edge for the Cows. It's a hard price to buy him at, but it is the last opportunity with a negative break-even. If you want someone in the centres that can do really well, not opposed to it at all. Jaxon Purdue at 469 will be a fun play. And then the final one in the cheap position there of wing fullback, Sione Finau. Looks like you'll get 4 weeks out of him. Maybe 3 if Tuipulotu comes back a little bit early. 2 at worst. Is it worth it? Probably not at 330k. He came in as a replacement player in round 7. So break-even wise is a bit tough as well. I don't really like it as a wing fullback play. I'd rather you spend up a little bit higher. So we'll leave it there, guys. That's the best buys for round 8. Thanks so much for jumping in, checking this video out each and every week. You're all legends. Let me know down in the comments what trades you are going to make there, and we'll leave you with the word for the week. If you made it all the way through to the end of this video, just write top 1k, because that's where we're going for. This week we should make it, I think, with a good trading week and some good scores across the board. I look forward to it. I'll be back home, which hopefully means continued upward trajectory. Good luck this week, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.